So go up to Tennessee. They have like quarter comics.
We have quarter bins and methamphetamines. You do some meth, you can look for comics for a long time.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
I'm in such
What
a
did I
fucking
walk
mood, dude.
into?
This is the show. This is all. So I just want to say thank you very much to all of our viewers. This is obviously our last show, and
reminder: this is TVMA, and this is why we have to throw this graphic up pretty often.
Not Near Mint is a show designed for audiences over the age of 18. If you're a viewer under the age of 18, please stop watching Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that we'll probably get in trouble if you watch us.
Yeah.
Shall we begin?
Let's begin.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Not Near Mint. It is Wednesday, August the 26th, I believe. It was a pretty big week for comic books, and we have a special guest today. We have Cory DLG. He is fresh from doing a Kickstarter. It's called the Department of Metahuman Affairs, DMA. So first, before we bring him in, let's start with our regular crew. Let's start with Miracleman.
Hey, Rob, how you doing? Good evening. Thanks for having me, as always.
Thank you, sir, for being on time, being early, chatting me up, showing me cool comic books, and that's why I do this show to begin with. I mean, we do have some viewers, I believe, and we'll get to them shortly. But now, if people are watching, and we have 20 people here early, 2 minutes in, if you're watching this show, well, I don't know about you and me, but I got some comics on the mind, and he's right here.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Happy New Comic Book Day. I hope everybody's having a great day, and it's great to be back. What's up, y'all?
That it is. I don't know how many you picked up, but I made 2 trips, and that last trip, well, I'll probably have to wind up doing an extra video over the weekend with a certain person by the name of Lady Fantastic.
Hello. I hope you guys are doing well. I would just like to make a quick statement, if that's okay. So, recently there was a charity auction for Comic Book Jabroni, and in that auction, I shipped a product that I overlooked, and it was damaged. And I took, the owner let me know, I took full ownership of that and attempted to rectify the situation, as I will always do. And I want you to know that this community means a lot to me. It's, I know it's full of warm, kind, accepting people, and I am forever grateful for that. Also, I do not appreciate being called names. Back to you, Rob.
It's probably not a good thing being called names, but as far as names go, I have the worst, but I have somebody that's with us that I was watching some of his videos on YouTube, and he kind of doesn't like that also. When people start off with a message going, hey, this is what I really think of you. Let's bring in Cory DLG and see what he thinks about people starting off by saying, hey, this is what I really think of you. I don't know. How do you respond to something like that? Or would you be receptive?
No. I don't need to know what you really think of me. I need to know how you're going to treat me in public. That's what I need to know.
Facts, man.
Yeah, because I don't need you to like me. I need you to at least respect me, though. That's my rule. But yeah, it's fun to be here. That intro was awesome. When it drops the meth line, I was kind of like, "Oh, did we just get into it?" Okay, all right.
That's how we roll.
We like an air of professionalism, and nothing says professional like opening every episode with a conversation about meth and comics.
Listen, depending on the job you've got, this could But you know what? Actually, I bet meth helps a lot of people with their work until it doesn't. I think that's probably.
Yeah,
So it gets
it's
out
like
of hand.
Snowflame.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snowflake. Jesus, man.
What?
You posted that today, and I got into like a multi-tweet conversation with a dude who was like, "What is this from?"
Yeah, I dropped that bomb, and then you have to follow it up going, okay, I have to clean up Rob's mess. Again.
Oh, he looked up the hemoglobin. I forget what they even called
Globin, bro.
Globin? Hemoglobin goblin vampire who gave everybody AIDS. And then they're like, what is this? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a bit extreme. And then they post up about Snowflame. I'm like, yep, see, that's pretty bad. And then they posted up, I forget, there was something else that was real controversial in that book. And they posted that up, and they're like, all they wrote was like, whoa. It was a fun talk. It was a fun talk.
What book is the hemoglobin AIDS vampire in? What is that?
New Guardians, bro.
New Guardians #2 is when it starts, and it's a couple issues, but it's wild.
The New Guardians?
New Guardians, the original one, 3 of them get AIDS from this
Holy
AIDS
crap.
vampire. And one of them's Harbinger from Crisis on Infinite Earths.
What a dirty, dirty man.
Oh,
Yeah. What
You know, like the whole legacy virus was an allegory for AIDS back in Marvel.
Yeah, that's true. It was, but it was really poorly done because you could just get it from breathing. Apparently.
Yeah.
Also, they gave it to a kid.
The execution of Marvel stories in the early '90s wasn't ace, I would say. Well, they weren't at their apex.
Yeah, they may not know how you get AIDS.
Maybe they had AIDS and it was just so shitty.
I'm just so mad.
Because the big death was Ileana, right? Like that was the big legacy virus death. Was the little white blonde girl, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't think that's the most likely to die from
Exactly. She's a vector for disease. This is what I just heard today, that children, the nasal passages of children, can carry a higher viral load than that of adults in the ICU that are sick with COVID. They're super spreaders. You guys are just super spreading your beard germ. Stop it.
She's having a very serious talk about spreading diseases, and you're switching back and forth between beards.
It was an important question. It was an important question.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that part. I thank you, Judah, for asking.
Yeah, beard girth. This is what our show's about. It's about nothing. Very much like
I'm the
Seinfeld.
only one here without like any good face hair. I need to grow mine out, man.
Yeah. Take a week off from waxing. Join us.
I will.
I'll do
Play
that.
catch up.
I'll let you know how it goes.
But you're right. The kids can have the viral load in their nasal passages and be just fine. I have heard that.
It's true.
We're learning a lot right now about what a kid can hold in their nose.
Anything, like I said, they're super spreaders. Their immune systems are much more robust than that of like half of adults.
I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I'm
Because
not.
children are super spreaders.
You're all gonna die. It's fun.
Yeah,
Wear a
often
mask.
I just let people come on and just see what's going to happen, but it always devolves into what children are going to put up their nostrils. Tomorrow it might be candy corn. The day
It's the
after it might be
age-old-
crack.
It's the
That's
age-old
It's
philosophical
2020
argument.
anything's possible.
They're going to be way better at their job if it's correct, though.
That's true.
Those kids are going to be the hardest
The
workers
first-
you've ever seen.
The first couple
Judah.
weeks. The first couple weeks.
Yeah. Then they start
Nasal
losing teeth, they
passages.
start needing a fix, then it's all downhill.
And just a reminder,
They're gonna hit that. They're gonna hit that wall.
Not Near Mint is a show designed for audiences over the age of 18. If you are a viewer under the age of 18, please do not watch Not Near Mint. It's not that we don't want you as a fan. It's just that you're probably going to get us in trouble.
Because we have been reported in the past.
I think that was an auto report. I don't think that was a human report. Not with our audience.
No, because over the weekend, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I was on Hack's channel, and he was showing books. And what book did he show? But the one he showed just prior to broadcast.
Shut the front door. All right.
Did you not? But we're not going to test that tonight. Not when we have a special guest with us.
Oh,
So
thank you
we
guys.
have a special guest. I want to give a formal welcome to Cory DLG, writer of upcoming comic book DMA, Department of Metahuman Affairs. We have the link right here, which is something I will drop in the chat for everybody. And so tell us, what's your book about, and how did your Kickstarter start?
It's about a children army on meth trying to take. They're running a campaign of voter suppression. So it actually is a combination of Claremont's X-Men and the West Wing. It's like my love letter to those two kind of ideas in one book. And it starts out. I've done another project called Another Day at the Office, and in that one, it's a bit of a comedy, but it looks at I like to look at superheroes a little differently than everyone else. It's clearly would be awesome to have superpowers, but it's more important to have the conversation about all the problems it creates too. So for Another Day at the Office, the story is about a cop who lives in a city full of superheroes, and he can't do his job because everyone's fascinated with the idea of superheroes stopping crime. So fast forward to this book, and it's kind of about the civil rights and what would a city, what would a country do in a world where there's certain people who can lift a Buick and certain people can't. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Everyone has equality, but not everyone's created equal. And so the conversation becomes, how do you treat people who are special? How do you treat people who are different? How do you treat people who test and break the system? And that's kind of the idea behind the Department of Metahuman Affairs. It's nowhere near as funny as Meth Kids.
That was
Sorry.
awesome.
It is. I have the link that I can bring up in just a second here, but I see that the description is Chris Claremont's X-Men combined with the West Wing.
Yeah.
So where did that idea germinate from?
I really think, as a writer, I guess I get to fall in love with the more wordy writers, and I really think it's interesting when comic books have something to say. Probably one of my favorite runs in all of comic books ever is James Robinson on Starman in the early 90s. When everyone was doing these edgy alt-rock comic books, this guy was doing this beautiful love letter between a father and a son, basically. And it was really cool. And he did a lot of interesting things. And so, for me, Chris Claremont's X-Men is sort of the biggest temple to old-style good storytelling that we have. And Claremont's X-Men, if you ever watch any documentary, he's the guy who turned the X-Men into what we all know them as now. When he came on, they were selling 30,000 copies. And when he leaves X-Men #1 with Jim Lee, did 8 million. And, everyone can say it's the art or whatever, but the one common thing between the 14 years of growth was Chris Claremont. So I just love that era of that huge run of storytelling that he had.
Yeah, it's a long, long run where nobody else could be offered the book, even though it's the top-selling book, but it's written by a guy that if you give it to anybody else, it's no longer the top-selling book.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
hey, there's my other book.
So, well, the cool thing that I know about him is he started when he was 26 years old doing all this. And yes, whenever Miracleman brings up some books, we always want to kind of check out and see what he's pulling up.
These are the books. These are Cory's books right here.
Yeah, my terrible signature on them. Look at that. I think that actually makes them worth less money.
It's worth more from a personal standpoint. They're very near and dear to my heart, Cory. Cory's actually one of the first people I befriended on the Twitters, if I remember right.
Yeah, I'll take that title. Thank you.
Very, very early on, and one of the first indie creators that I had met as well. And I got these. They're different. They're not your normal cape and type superhero comics, but enjoyed both of them immensely. They were really a lot of fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, and then in that second one, the one of 3 there with the girl on the cover, I don't actually even, now off the top of my head, I don't remember if there's even a superhero in that issue. Somebody said to me, they were like, there's no superheroes in there.
There was not.
I was like, oh, sorry.
I kept waiting. I kept expecting to flip the page. Like, oh, you'll be the superhero. Nope. You'll be the superhero. Nope, not yet.
Just because there's a shapely woman on the cover in a bathing suit and high heels and colorful outfit doesn't necessarily mean she's a superhero.
She could be a stripper falling to her death. It could be
exactly.
The likeliest of scenarios, to be honest with you.
Yes, more probable.
Wow, what a sad world we live in, but that's true too.
So you're with your new book. Obviously, that's not in the same universe as these, right?
It is, but not in any real relevant way.
Okay, all right.
In those, they mention TUSPE a couple times, the Union of Superpowered Individuals, who's like their Avengers or Justice League kind of concept. And in the first 8 pages of DMA, I kill about half of those guys.
Oh, right on.
And I do that just specifically to kind of make the point that, like, the public sees this happen very publicly, and if you were watching TV one day and the Green Lantern and Batman and the Flash all got murdered on TV, you suddenly would almost demand some sort of action from the government. You would say, like, okay, well, what are you guys going to do now that the great volunteer heroes of our world are gone? And that's sort of the concept of Department of Metahuman Affairs, is the public now kind of forces the government to actually get involved in the metahuman issue and pick sides and do something about it.
It would almost harken back to 9/11, and I don't know how many of us remember that morning that clearly. I do. But watching on the TV initially and going, okay, that's a fire about 80 stories up. How the hell are they going to extinguish that?
Yeah.
It's what comes next after, if what you've relied on, like a Superman or just like a cane, a walking stick, you've used it so long now that you're going without. Now what happens next?
And that's sort of the question that I want to ask in the book is none of these are great options that they have. Like, the government can't just Rolodex the next lineup of great superheroes. The people they have access to aren't all that spectacular. And so the lineup of characters that are the superpower part of the story, there's 2 parts to the story. One is superpowers and superheroes and just being humans. And then the other part is, how does the government actually help people? Like, how does government interact when the government decides to do something, what does that do at the personal level? How does that affect individuals when they make a big decision about a group of people? And so getting to tell those 2 stories, like, ideally this is an ongoing series. And I was telling somebody, like, in theory, if this went 100 issues, at some point I'd work in a court case, like a fair housing court case where they won't let some metas buy a house in the neighborhood because they're deemed too dangerous. And then it goes to court. Like, how do you handle that?
So what happens with a superhero if, it's their area, they live in the neighborhood, and you wind up getting hit by a bus and you break every bone in your body and you go, but where was the Superman type hero to come and save me? I'm suing that son of a bitch for negligence.
Right, and that's sort of one of the conversations that they're going to have early in the series is, obviously the first thing the government wants to do if you're ever trying to solve a problem is you need enough data to know what the problem is. So one of the first things they want to do is they want to try registering and rounding up, at least just identifying who has superpowers and who doesn't. And that's going to be kind of the big first issue that this organization politically has to tackle is the cost-benefit analysis of that. Is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? Do you really want to know how many people have superpowers in the country? Like, what if it's the wrong people? Like, what if it's not people you want it? Like, what if it changes the dynamics of how you have power? Like, it just, there's a lot of questions that, good and bad, that we get to ask and answer in those conversations.
If it gets past the first 3 issues, because you never know how things are going to work out. Robert Kirkman didn't know that Walking Dead would get past 6 issues, so he tried to cram in as much as he could. And then once you're given, hey, go as long as you want, like Rick and Morty. No one wants to get to the point where they go, oh, well, now that I can do anything, I got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's got to be a weird place to feel comfortable. Because that's not something that I definitely am in this journey yet. I'm definitely, I didn't think I'd get to $500 on this Kickstarter, honestly. And then in the first weekend, it did about $1,400, which blew my mind. I said, "Holy crap!" And like in 3.5 days, I basically did $1,400, and then it sort of has plateaued. And on both sides of that, it's like it was this huge, awesome moment, and then it was also this whole like, oh, what the fuck? Like, like it's been this interesting thing, and so I did have the cover up, and the cover is a little spicy for some people, and it's been my only negative feedback. So I've retired the cover from public viewing for a few days, and I want to see what that does to the numbers. But the cover will come back. The cover's not going away. It's still the cover.
Well, to the side of the screen here, I'm showing people what some of the art looks like, what DMA is about. So
yeah, and also every issue has an 8-page backstory. So that's why you're seeing 2 different art styles there. The great Taylor A did an awesome 8-page backup story talking about a young kid who winds up becoming a sidekick to a superhero and talks about the first time they meet. That's Fury. She's one of the superpowered marshals that they bring in, and the reason they have access to her is because she was in jail for refusing to pay her taxes because she thinks the government's racist.
Oh, shit.
He's putting it in escrow.
An abundant amount of evidence to support that claim.
Right.
So you know, I'm a sucker for. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that for what you are funding, the entire first issue's done. It's penciled. It's inked. So right now you're just trying to get the rest of funding. The deadline for this, let's just get that back up here at the top real quick.
Yeah, I think we got 15 days to go. September 11th, actually. And that was
maybe that's why I brought up September 11th, because I knew that there was a reason why I should have brought up that date, and that's why.
It's funny you mentioned that as a thing, because that was my thought. That was my kind of impetus thought for that big moment, was like a September 11th type thing that everyone publicly sees and just goes, oh, shit. Well, obviously we have to do something about this. Because if it's too minor, then some people could, like if somebody just didn't like Green Lantern, they could just like, it was the Green Lantern, who cares? But if it's enough people, it doesn't matter which ones you didn't like or like, you'd be like, did they just kill half the Justice League? Like, what the hell? Right. So, like, just Iron Man dying, everyone can be like, oh no, the Avengers lost a guy. But when half the Avengers die, then everyone's like, what the hell do we do?
Right. Right. You can lose one of the big four. Like if you lose Hulk, you know, that sucks, but you still got a Thor. You know, or if you lose Iron Man, you still have fucking Thor. If you lose one, you're good. But if you lose three of those, two of those, or three of those, listen, I'm not saying Iron Man and Captain America can't handle a lot, but
they sure would like Thor around.
They sure would like fucking Thor around, man.
Comparable power.
Right.
Oh no, we lost Captain Marvel. We'll just go through Marvel.
Yeah, and so like that kind of pressure that puts not just on those heroes, but also on the public. You know, someone has to respond to that. You know, you would expect that we would be able to go to our president and be like, are you going to do anything about this? Like, how do we handle this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of those personalities might be like basketball players where you're expected to be a hero, you're being paid to be a hero. Meanwhile, you have somebody like the Doctor on the Authority, and he's shooting up heroin.
Right.
You have others that are just other kind of sorts of drug addicts, and others that are sleeping around, someone that's a closet, whatever they might be. So their personal lives could get out in the public, and now that changes attitudes. I could see the West Wing style narrative being played.
Exactly. These guys they very quickly find themselves representing a lot more than just a guy in a costume, and for a lot of these people, they're not equipped for that. Copex, who is one of the ones that gets shown down there, he has the ability to make copies of himself. But he's a 2-time Tony-winning actor. He's not a superhero by any stretch of the imagination. But he loses all of his jobs and all of his endorsements, and now he's broke because he lives a lavish lifestyle. And suddenly he just takes the job because he needs a job. He needs a place to live. And so for somebody like that, he's completely ill-equipped to be the thing that you count on to make the world a better place. He's at a rock bottom himself. So, yeah, these characters they're not set up emotionally to be able to handle something like this. And we get to just kind of play with that and see how it leads them. And their leader is a former teen sidekick who literally retired from being a sidekick. Like, that was too much pressure for him. And so the idea that he's now going to lead a super team that's supposed to replace half of the Avengers or half of the Justice League is kind of a shortcoming for sure.
That sounds really cool. I'm a big fan of anything that has a new universe of supers. That's right in my wheelhouse. And I love it when you kill a whole bunch and bring a whole bunch of crappy ones in.
Yeah, and that's definitely what we're doing here. It definitely they're not crappy in the sense that like Wave 2 of Suicide Squad, but they're crappy in the sense that like none of these guys would get the call to come to the big leagues anytime soon. Right. But they're thrust there nonetheless.
This is why, and I would recommend people to go out and search for it if you were ever an Authority fan, it's modern day X-Men. But the widescreen action, but way back in the day, you had Stormwatch, and it was Stormwatch versus aliens.
Oh,
and everybody died.
Yes.
What, you mean like a couple of the main team? No. Everybody died.
Yeah, Stormwatch was a long-running Wildstorm book that was, not quite 100 issues, but a good amount between the two volumes, I want to say. Yeah. And then it's the Warren Ellis Stormwatch aliens that sets up the Authority, and they set it up by killing off almost all of Stormwatch.
They had a second
Central Authority.
Yeah,
they had a second Stormwatch series after that Aliens book. It was very brief, though.
Are you talking about Team Achilles?
No. There was one that had the Stormwatch Black Team. It had what became the Authority in it. It was very, very brief. I think it was only like 8 or 9 issues. But it was Warren Ellis. Not that we speak his name a whole lot anymore after the unfortunate incidents. But it was a fantastic series. It set up the Authority perfectly.
Oh, and you know what? You're right, because that's the one that had Swift in it.
Yes. Yeah, it even sets up the death of the High, which becomes a big important part of the apocalypse of the Wildstorm universe.
Correct. Yeah. It does.
Yeah,
it does. And then
tied it all together.
I love that. And then they did that Stormwatch Team Achilles, which I thought was a great idea for a book.
Yes.
And then the guy, whoever the creator was, it wound up he was doing Stolen Valor. Yeah. And they canceled the book, but that was a great idea too.
Yeah.
And then they tried rebooting the entirety of the Wildstorm universe. They got 26 issues and went, not enough people are buying this. They even tried redoing the entire Authority for modern audiences, and I have those issues, but maybe one day they'll come back. I always have a fondness for the Authority, but I think its time is done.
You can't fold it into the regular Justice League and be heroes is the problem.
Agreed.
Like the regular modern DC universe, if you have the Authority, they would be villains to the Justice League.
Yeah. We have the Authority in DC. It's called the Elite. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Which is
75 of Action Comics.
Holy crap! the Justice League Elite is one of my favorite runs of comics.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
Joe Kelly Justice League that then transitions into Justice League Elite.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite runs, man, with
Good
Manatee
stuff.
Raven and Major Disaster and all that. So yeah, you're right in my wheelhouse there.
Yeah, good
Well,
stuff, man.
Cory, I don't know if you wind up buying new comic books. Do you wind up getting new comics every Wednesday?
I do, not quite every Wednesday, about once a month I go in and empty my box. But yes, I got a pull box right there at The Adventure Begins, Comics, Games, and More on 1488, right here in Conroe.
Awesome. Well, we wind up doing a little thing where we show everything that we get this week. I got way too much stuff, so I'm going to do another episode with Lady Fantastic. But I got a bunch of new stuff. I know that Kirk got some stuff, Lady got some stuff, Miracleman got some stuff.
I just want to hear this.
Let me zoom in.
That's neat looking.
Oh, that's pretty.
That is cool. That's a nice cover too.
That's
Yarden.
That is nice.
Love this.
Fucking ace, dude. Storm Thor, like or Thor Storm.
She has wings on her head.
That's all.
No, that's like her
Oh, it's
cape is
the
doing a Thor thing.
Yeah, so
Right.
also, this is Mighty Thor issue 2 variant edition. I'm just putting this out there.
That is
That
awesome.
is- That is a sexy cover.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I don't get to. I won't stay and play. I'm going to get food before City of Houston floods completely.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
We're actually in the
hopefully
safe
you're going to
zone.
be
They say-
okay.
Yeah, they say we're in the safe zone now. We're only going to get 2 to 4 inches of rain. But the City of Houston isn't designed to adapt to any inconvenience. So
Yeah, you guys flood very quickly.
not only that, we don't know what to do when it happens. So it'll be general mass panic in about.
I'll tell you what you
38
do.
minutes.
You call the Cajun Navy.
They come through and they saved us on the last one. They absolutely did it.
They
It's a
did in
real thing.
Katrina too.
Yeah,
Good old boys, but they had your back, man.
and they had CB radios, and they were literally called the Cajun Navy. I thought it was the best thing ever.
It
And they did
was.
come through and save a good amount of people. They are.
Hell yeah, they did. And people's pets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say this: if you guys, if any of y'all haven't or don't buy it, book Reavers from Image.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. It's still going on. It started out like a Suicide Squad in the Dungeons and Dragons type world, and the story is still going on, and it's fascinating. They're on issue 9 or 10 now, I think. And I also get Money Shot.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We're all ready.
Money shot.
Money Shot's fantastic, and it's written by a girl who used to be of Saturday Night Live, and now she's co-writing this.
Sarah Beatty.
Yes, and she's fantastic. I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah.
She's hilarious, and other than that, I basically get mainstream stuff, the X-Men and all that. But I'm kind of falling away. I'm falling out of love with the X-Men a little bit again. I need something to happen, and I wasn't excited about this X of Swords stuff.
22 issues of crossovers does seem excessive. Doesn't even begin to start.
Feel like they're pulling the same shit like they did in the 90s.
And in the X-Men book, nothing is happening. Like, you have a flagship X-Men title, and every issue is just character introspection and looking back and listen, I literally just told you I love the Claremont X-Men, but Chris Claremont managed to work a fight into basically every single issue of X-Men. Something happened, and in a lot of these issues, nothing's happening. And then also there's all the implications of like triples and all these different relationships and dynamics, but they don't even show those. So like, they're not giving you really any reason to invest into these books. And as much as I love the proposal, I've been calling it Israel X-Men. I think that's kind of, they're essentially paralleling the concept, right? That like all Jews are welcome in Israel.
Palestinian sort of parallel.
Well,
I
not
call it the
necessarily.
Flower Children.
I like that too. Like my parallel is about the idea that like Israel kind of claims jurisdiction over Jews worldwide. Like if you're a Jew anywhere in the world, you can seek sanctuary in Israel, and they sort of welcome it and they allow that, and that kind of creates conflict every once in a while somewhere in the world where someone's like, oh well, I'll just go to Israel and face trial for those crimes. That people are like, well, no, you committed the crimes in Australia. We're going to try you here, and then you have a Law and Order episode about it. but like it's been really it's been an interesting premise, but then like they've killed Quentin Quire like 15 times in the X-Force book already. Like it's sort of, I'm over it. Like these guys are supposed to be badass and tough and awesome, and they've been really slow.
They have about all the efficacy of being a video game character on their 80th life.
Yeah, and there seems to be zero consequence to all of this resurrection and all that, which I think, as we all know as storytellers, is not a good thing. Like, usually you want to see... Yeah, you want to see some sort of payoff of some kind.
So hopefully we're getting there with Sword of X or X of Swords after 22 issues. Maybe one of them will be a key, and hopefully at the end they'll stick the landing, because if they don't, you're going to have a lot of people dropping off that book.
I think so too. I think that, especially because they added books to that crossover. They came out of COVID and they added more books to that crossover. That blew my mind. I was like, well, they are doubling down on that. That's for sure. Then they also delayed my friend Vita Ayala. I call her my friend. I've interviewed her a couple times on my show, and we are friends on Twitter. She has Children of the Atom still scheduled to come out at some point.
Yeah,
I was wondering about a big book.
And that's what they were saying, but they've now completely bumped it to come after all the Sword of X stuff. At least that's the last thing Jordan White said about it publicly.
It's like, how does it fit in story-wise? Does that mean that it doesn't matter at all, that it didn't come out back in April, or you didn't even try in the last couple of months? Now you're just going to wait till like January? Does that mean the story doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things?
I'm guessing yes. I'm guessing whatever the story they were telling in the first few issues couldn't merge into Swords of X. Like X Factor issue 2 or 3 jumps right into Swords of X, and then they carry through a couple, and then they go back to their story. I'm guessing whatever happens in Children of the Atom, they can't do that with however they're telling that story. It's a total guess. I haven't been told anything, but that is what I'm assuming.
It's going to be a long B story that's going to run in every book, intertwined, where if you're not reading everything, nothing makes sense. A lot of them don't make sense already.
Right, although X Factor #1 was good. Full credit to Leo.
I have it in my little pile over here.
It wound up being way better than I thought it was going to be.
Right.
I like Leo Williams, but I was afraid of that. But it was really good. Promote myself. I will do that right now.
So yes, we're getting up to about 40 minutes. So for Cory DLG, where can we find you? Your Twitter, your Instagram? Do you have YouTube? I know that you have something called Nerd Thug Radio. Why don't you tell ladies and gentlemen a little bit about yourself and what all that is?
Exactly. Thank you. Nerd Thug Radio is a podcast FM radio show that airs here on the FM stations in Conroe, 104.5 and 106.1. Or you can find it on all of the Spotify's and all the different apps and stuff on the phone for the podcast version of every episode. It's 2 times a week, Mondays and Fridays, and we also do a Nerd Thug Sports just because we have a sponsor who pays for it. So we do it. Go to @CoryDLG on pretty much everything social media-wise. I'm lucky that I have a giant last name that I can manipulate, and no one else has that. And then on Facebook, we do all the entertaining stuff at facebook.com/Nerd Thug Radio, including my comic book stuff. We do it all just out of one little mothership. Keep it simple for us.
All right. Well, I wound up taking a look at a couple of the little videos, the 3 or 4 that were there that had your name in it. But then I had to type in Nerd Thug Radio to go, oh, wow, this is long running. This guy's been doing it for a very long time.
Yes, we've got about I think on YouTube it's only probably 80 episodes or so that wound up going onto the YouTube, and I could be wrong about that. But as far as actual episodes, we've got over 300. We've been doing this for 4 years. It's been a lot of fun. It started off as a joke on a 90s rap station, and then we just kind of kept going from there. It's been fun.
Wow, that's sweet, dude. That's pretty sweet.
Shout out
We're
to
in
Big
our first year, so congratulations on that.
Yeah, no, when Miracleman was telling me about this, I almost did it, by the way, Rob. I almost pulled a you. But when Miracleman told me about this, I was like, yeah, man. Whenever you guys are ready, let me know. I'll come on, or if you guys want to come on my show, and we'll talk to some of y'all and get some dialogue going, and get a crossover episode. So
Definitely.
now we just got to get one or two of y'all on our show.
Yeah, I don't know how much you watch some of the YouTube community, but many of us, we're a little like whores when it comes to people going, hey, we're going to drop the link, so anybody that wants to come on this show, I'm like, hold on, let me make sure my camera's on, the lighting's right. Like, don't mind if I do. A link? Okay. Hey, everybody.
You got to be that guy, though. Like, that's how this all works is... I like the word you used, hua. That is an accurate and historically old word. I love it. But yeah, you got to be a bit of a hua to go after it. I'm reading these comments. Yeah.
There you go.
Someone delete my comment? I don't think anyone deleted my comment.
Yeah, we didn't see a comment, Tacoma. I'm a moderator. Everyone gets 10 swords.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
He's talking about the X-Men.
Air Spider's not a moderator. Blaming him. Blame that son of a bitch, Air Spider. He's just going to edit this one little portion out and then just broadcast it going, Rob's an asshole. Because he's That's why pay is, we have like a bunch of rules on this show, but we have rule number 2. Don't be a dick.
Yes, that is a good rule, although it's hard not to break it myself. I'm definitely egotistical and absolutely a huge dick when I want to be, so that's a hard rule to follow. It's a hard rule.
Sometimes you gotta be to be effective.
You just gotta let people know sometimes.
It's called boundaries. Boundaries are not being dickish, it's just being, self-preservation.
It should be held as a last resort, but...
That's fair. I want 11 swords. Listen, Ace, everyone gets 10. 10 swords. That's it.
Yeah, you get 10 swords and 9 lives.
I wish that's what they did. I wish they limited the amount of time they would bring somebody back. That would be a better bit, right? Like if everyone can come back 10 times and then you're really dead.
Yeah, make it like Doctor Who. There's only supposed to be like 12 doctors. 13 and a 14. But make it a solid number.
Right. But instead they've just been like, no, Quentin Quire, you can come back again. I don't understand how he's supposed to be such a badass, and he has not been cool once in any comic book.
Right? I'm a whiny little bitch.
But he's supposed to hold the Phoenix Force at some point. Like this guy's supposed to be like one of the elites, and he gets bitch slapped more than any of the telepathic telekinetics in all of the comics. Like
that's because he's such a dick right now.
Maybe he's not an ideal vessel.
Yeah, and then he goes psychic shotgun, which is a cool idea, and he still gets murdered all the time. Like he's one-upping everybody and doesn't pay off at all.
Yeah. He was pretty badass in the Empire crossover.
Was he?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'll check that one.
But he didn't appear until halfway through the 3rd issue, so it didn't really matter.
Oh.
We were just waiting for him to come along.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing, right? You got Xavier, Magneto, and no one set this kid down and taught him, how to badass it up. Like, what are they...
He's such a dick. Nobody wants to talk to him. They put him in West Coast Avengers.
I think better than all of you. Get out of my way.
Right. They put him in West Coast Avengers, I think, just to bitch him.
Oh, I love.
I don't think they had him in there for any other reason other than to treat him like a punk. And
yeah, I didn't even read that one just because it was such a mess. Like the lineup was such a mess.
It was a bit of a mess. It was a bit of a mess.
Take care, Rufo.
It was great. I read it. It was awesome.
Hey, Rufo. Oh God, that means that he probably has an 8 a.m. job. I got the one for 9 o'clock. Sorry, man.
Oof.
He saved my life earlier today because I was hanging around waiting for a court case to happen. And I'm just hanging around like this going, okay, waiting for the Zoom meeting to start, waiting for it to start. It's supposed to start at 11. It's now 12:30. I'm like, hey, I need to go to the comic shop. And yes, I'm telling my boss, I need to go run errands. But Wednesdays, they know that it's my day to go and do everything, because otherwise, how am I going to get all this stuff here?
That's true. That's true. Is
So,
this?
I don't know if you have
is that
anything you
what
wanted to show, but we're going to start showing some books off.
All right, I'm going to jump out then. But Rob, I have a question. Is that your house or is that a shop that you were doing that in?
It's not my house, but it's the house I stay in.
All right, that's fair enough. Okay. It looks. What a marvelous setup you have there.
It's great. It's a really good setup.
That's awesome, though. I was like, this guy's got it made. He shoots videos at a comic shop overnight. Like, just have a stripper and some meth, and you got a good Wednesday night.
My favorite thing. Hey, you don't know all about the meth or the coke or anything, because cocaine is my god.
Oh God.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Kids, don't do drugs. Don't listen to Rob, and don't do drugs.
Yeah,
Were those
because
two
back when I
separate
used to
rules,
be
or
a
was that the
fuck
same
up, I didn't have that.
That goes back to rule number 1, which is don't die. All right.
Oh.
Don't do certain drugs.
Yeah.
Certain drugs.
Meth, bad. Coke, drink Cuban coffee.
Be about the same.
Much cheaper.
Not by much.
Yeah.
Not by much. Cuban coffee is pricey, bro.
It's $1.25 for a small cup.
You live in
Most
fucking
people
Florida.
Have shots, 2 tiny shots of.
Yeah. Wait, that's not anywhere. In Houston, it's like $6.
Right.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because
There's
we don't
no
have any
joke.
Cubans.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah. We don't have any Cubans in Houston.
Espresso.
The Cuban community in Houston is like one apartment building, I think.
Wow.
It's not a lot.
Wow. All right.
My dad was from Panama.
Night, Ricardo.
You never see other Panamanians, and so I used to tease him. I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that's who's coming this way, man."
Yes, Carlito, you stepped in on strippers and meth, because this is an adult show. There's a reason why we keep having to show that graphic of that TVMA and run that little thing, that little scroll at the bottom, because we don't want to have this show get canceled because somebody goes, well, my kid watched it. I'm like, well, I'm telling you explicitly not to.
Right. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here.
All right, sir.
You guys
good
enjoy.
having you. Thank you very much,
Thank you for
Corey.
having me. Thank you for your support. And anybody interested in the book, feel free to send me a message at the very least, and I'll see what I can do to get you more interested. Samuel David, you know a lot of Cubans in Houston. I don't know any, and I know a ton of Hispanic people, but that is interesting. Maybe I just don't know the right ones. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Corey.
Have a good night, and check out his book. Kickstarter is called DMA, Department of Metahuman Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, Cory DLG.
Night, buddy.
Good night.
You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Let's find out what some people picked up in comic book world today. So, who wants to start?
I didn't get any comics today.
No,
Yeah, I didn't pick up anything today either.
Oof.
You do.
I got
we
comics.
did. So,
Show everything.
Miracleman, it's on you then.
All right, I guess I can handle that responsibility. First of all, a little humble. I know. First up, I'm going to do a bit of the old humble brag and show you my many milestone number ones. Actually, let me back up. Let me back it up. First of all, let me say thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it. Highly recommend you going over and check out Corey's book, by the way. I backed it right away. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I really wanted to. I just want to throw this out there real quick. He's done some interesting funding options. You can fund just an issue. You can fund a 3-issue arc, or you can fund all 12 issues right now if you wanted to. And he is committed to make sure you get the books no matter what. And I trust Corey. He's a good guy. Like I said, one of the first people I met on Twitter. Okay. Now, second of all, here is all my number ones. Aren't they beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
There's many, and look, I actually have more. I actually have more number ones of awesome, cool milestone books. And I just want to say, this is very not like me.
Yeah. So this is
to say this, but what I'm gonna say right now is I can't believe I got it right. I really can't believe this was a total shot in the dark, man. It was an educated guess, really, I should say. Knowing these were coming back, but man, I saw this book right here, static number 1. I saw this on eBay, not slabbed, okay, $177 with 26 bids on it.
Oh my God! What?
Yeah. People lost their minds. They went buck nutty after those announcements. And, there's a couple other books that should absolutely not be going for the money they're going for, that are going for stupid money. Superboy number 0 and number 9.
Number 0? Why number 0?
Number 0 is a cameo appearance of King Shark.
Oh, God damn it.
Number 9 is first full.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this book is still in dollar bins across America. There were a lot of them. Do not buy those 2 books at speculator prices. Don't do it. There are many of them. Okay, if you're looking for that first King Shark appearance, Superboy 0, Superboy 9, I didn't pull mine out. Don't buy them at speculator prices. They're gonna get burnt. Now on to the books.
I'll show you this one.
Do you want to show us now? Oh, there you
This
go.
one was 25 cents.
Beauty.
Yeah, number
Beauty.
7, I liked it because Static Shock was on there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I like the
great
kid all
crossover.
right.
Yeah, great crossover. Great
All right,
crossover.
back to you.
All right, so let's do some new books, shall we?
Yep.
Suicide Squad number 8. It's an awesome variant cover of the Wink and the Airy. Now, Tom Taylor has made it very clear that lots of people are going to die. Not lucky timely bragging. You're right. Tom Taylor has made it very clear that Suicide Squad is going to have a high death toll. We don't know who's going to make it out, but the Wink and Airy, I really hope make it out, which of course means Tom somehow going to find out about this and purposely kill them just to crush my soul. Here we have Year Zero, issue number 4. They've already solicited, previews was out today, they've already solicited Year Zero 2. So this book's coming back. It is a zombie book, guys, but this is a very different, unique zombie book. It's telling the story from 5 different points of view all around the world. Really been enjoying it.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that there's going to be a release again of First Prince of issue number 1 coming out next week.
I had not heard that, but I wouldn't doubt it because that was a book that was impacted by COVID.
Oh, well,
So
the first issue was going between like $30 to $50 at one point.
Shut up! Was it really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Wow, really?
Billionaire Island number 5 from, I'm just going to say it, my favorite publisher.
Ooh.
I'm just saying it. I'm throwing it right out there. Ahoy Comics. You know, I've met Tom Payer, the editor-in-chief, and I'll tell you what, he's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. This book is written by Mark Russell. The art's by Steve Pugh. That's the Flintstones team. And I love this book. I just so much fun. Listen, I'm going to say something right now, and some people might find it controversial, but if you couldn't tell from hearing from me, I very much believe in Eat the Rich, and I mean all of the rich. Okay.
What? How? That's all I say. No, the rich control it. Oh, fuck the rich. Whenever you see somebody wearing a suit, it just means somebody has their hand up their giant ass so that they can say, talk the way I want you to talk, you little sock puppet. Because the real rich people don't wear suits. They wear like stuff from Costco.
That's true. But anyway, Billionaire Island is a brilliantly written, I mean, it's Mark Russell, but it's a brilliantly written book that very much embodies Eat the Rich, and I can't recommend it enough. Up next, we have, now there's one more issue of Billionaire Island. Number 6 is going to come out yet. So that's the second to last issue. Man Who Effed Up Time, number 5. This is the last issue of the series. Tied it up in a nice, neat little bow. Listen, this is John Layman. This is the guy who did Chew. Okay. Carl Mostert is the artist. Carl did Deceased Unkillables. So the villain mini.
Okay.
So, kind of a funky, very distinct art style. Really, really enjoy it. And D. Kunif here is doing the colors. His palette is phenomenal. All right. I mean, they're bright, they're vibrant, they really tie the story together. There's lots of really crazy scenes. He's traveling. He fucked up time, so he's traveling through time. He comes back to modern times, and all of a sudden there's bug people riding giant like beetles and stuff, and then he goes back and he fucks time up again. He comes back to fucking pyramids, and like everybody's descended from Abraham Lincoln because he didn't kill Abraham. He didn't let Abraham Lincoln die. I don't want to ruin the story for you, but it's phenomenal, man. Really, look it up. And it's Aftershock. It's a small label. They're gonna basically let John do whatever the he wants to do. I don't know why I self muted on fuck, because I said fuck like 9 times before that. Fuck. So next we have X-Men number 11. This is another one of the Empire crossover issues here.
You could be forgiven for mistaking that for an Empire book.
I know.
Dude, Miracle.
Yeah.
You gotta read Ace's comment.
What did they say?
She said that you've got the early 2000s rock radio DJ voice.
Well, there's a reason for that, Ace. I thought I was going to be on the radio when I was a younger man, and I definitely spent many hours practicing that voice. And next up at number 9, we have Bomb Queen, issue number 1. This is Trump. This is Bomb Queen Trump card. Now, listen, there was a variant cover that had our favorite Tangerine Mussolini on the flip side, and I elected not to get that. I won't buy books with him in it. I wouldn't have bought this except I love Bomb Queen, man. I like fuck too. Bomb Queen is an incredibly subversive book. I think I do, Dusty. Yeah, I have a zombie number 1. So Bomb Queen, it's basically the entire series is. Thanks, Tacoma. I'm gonna write that down. The entire series is Bomb Queen fucking with everybody in charge. She takes over a city. She gets rid of all the superheroes, and it is a total free for all. And I mean, some of it gets a little, maybe a scooch over the top. There is a scene that shows a roving, I believe it's a roving band of, it's like an all mix of extremists. There's like a couple of like skinheads, and then there's a couple of like, Muslim extremists, and then there's a couple of gangland, hood gangland type guys, and they're all rowing in a band together, attacking tourists that come into the city. It's just a really weird book, man, and it's fun. I highly recommend it. Jimmy Robinson's great, dude. Justice League, once again, DC unable to not rip story ideas from Alan Moore, even though the man has not worked for them in almost 25 years. Black Mercy originally appeared in Superman Annual number 10, with a very famous one, the Alan Moore written issue. It's got Mongol, it's got Superman, it's got the Black Mercy, which has been used in so many other pieces of media and other with a 2-pack. That's fair, Tacoma, but it's only half a pack, man. Fuck you.
Whoa!
It's the Flash.
Shots fired.
It's not 2 packs a day, Tacoma. That was an insult.
Jesus.
It's half a pack. The Flash number 760. I got the variant cover on this. This is and I don't know how to say their name. Lee and Hyuk.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's how I pronounce it.
Yep.
I love this cover, man. That's a badass cover. Legion of Superheroes number 8. This is really cool. This issue. Every 2 pages is a different artist. Look at that. Bendis presents a once-in-a-lifetime all-star artist event. Everybody who's ever worked on the Legion is back to draw it again. And sorry, Tacoma. And he's not in it a lot. He's in a couple of scenes, and he's acting very much himself. And they definitely point out how dumb he is. So it's fun. But anyway, every single issue, every single 2 pages has a different artist, and I believe they're going to be doing an issue 9 as well as Trial of the Legion of Superheroes. I paged through it. I didn't get to read that one. I paged through it. It looked great. Issue 2 of the extended cut of X-Men's God Loves, Man Kills. And then, guys, I got some really cool stuff. I didn't get to tell you guys that. Well, you guys know it. I told you. But for our viewers at home and around the world,
Oh my God.
I did get to go to my favorite place, and that was the pawn shop.
You went to the pawn shop.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you what, guys. The pawn shop actually called me. They're like, hey, we just bought a collection. You're the first person we're calling. Would you like to take a look? Woo-hoo!
Turn around.
How
did he get here so fast?
He didn't even finish saying the sentence, and I was standing in front of him. That's how excited I was. So here we go. We got a couple, and I'm going to show you something here. I pulled it, and I didn't realize what I pulled right away. But first up, we have Batman 515, the DC Universe variant.
Yes, please.
No. Yeah,
Then we got Detective 682, the DC Universe variant.
Please.
Then we got Robin 14, the DC Universe variant.
Oh, nice.
Little damage there. But then we got Shadow of the Bat 35, and guess what? It's the DC Universe variant. And then definitely not as impressive because it doesn't align with the rest of them. I have Robin 13, which is also a DC Universe variant. It's cool. I grabbed a nice stack of Captain Adams near the end to finish up the run. Not the last issue, but like the last 5. I also got this one. It's pretty.
Yes.
Oh, that's a great cover.
It's death.
First mainstream DC Universe appearance of Neil Gaiman's Death from The Endless, from Sandman. It's her first time she's in the proper DCU. This book is the only book in all the Captain Adams series that people put a premium price on. You got to watch for it. Usually when you're in dollar bins, all of Captain Adam is there except this issue.
Pretty much.
I also
issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 43. What the hell?
Yeah. It's like Spectre Volume 2. Issue 54 is the only one never there because that's the first
51, 52, 53, 55.
Yeah. Because Mr. Terrific. First Mr. Terrific in that one.
Michael.
Then I grabbed a couple of these are just cool and they're harder to come by, this later Deathstroke stuff. That's 48. Now check out this cover. 49.
Oh,
that's cool, right?
Looks like a modern cover.
Yeah, it's a good cover. It's who is that? I don't know who that artist is. Sergio Cariello. Not familiar.
Hey, Rob,
Yeah.
will you put this on him just to show him? I found this in a 25-cent bin, or 35 cents for Rob.
Nice. Very cool.
It's just one, but
hey.
apparently someone said that the Aquamans are rare.
Oh, probably.
I don't know.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Aquamans were printed a whole lot less than they were of Action Comics and Detective Comics. And
Is our boy Flashpoint in the chat?
I know he was earlier.
He was earlier.
Here's a nice little something for Flashpoint to see here. I got a nice little run of Flash. 139, first part of the Black Flash storyline.
Oh,
there's 140.
Ooh, that's a great cover.
That's part 2. And here is 141, part 3. There is your introduction of the Black Flash character right there. $1 books. And then 142 because the wedding, Linda Park, and Barry, or sorry, Wally. 146 and 147, they're part of the Chain Lightning storyline. This is one of the best Flash storylines that Wade did in the whole run. And Wade did some really good stuff in Flash. Chain Lightning, they all have similar covers like this. If you see these are absolutely worth a pickup. It's a friggin' great story. It's 6 parts, so there's a good chunk to it, but it's worth it. And then we got Legends of the DC Universe #1. Honestly, guys, these Legends books are there's not a single bad one. There's no such thing as a bad Legends of the DC Universe book. There's #7. They all have these really badass covers. Here's #8. The stories are fantastic. #9. They're not constrained by the modern canon. They can do whatever they want with them. This was like a very late 90s series. There's another copy of Young Justice #1. Here we got an Avengers 300. That's just cool.
Cover.
Just cool, right?
Yeah.
And here's another one, a book that's kind of hard to come by. Beavis and Butthead #17.
I saw
Is it
that.
the final?
I didn't get it.
That's not the final. I have the final issue, but that's not the final. I just I needed to fill that one in the run. And here we have.
Sorry.
Sorry. The final issue is, I want to say it's like 23, 21. It didn't go very long. Hold on a second. I'm going to pull that up for you real fast here. But that's next to impossible. You're not going to find a lot of them. They're out there.
Don't tell me something's next to impossible.
I got mine in the dollar bin. Yeah, I got mine in the dollar bin. So, it's possible. It happens. 24, issue 24. No,
All
wait,
right.
wait.
Now I know.
Hold on. That's a lie.
Oh.
That's a lie.
Oh. What?
No, now I'm shutting down the show. Issue 28. Issue 28 here. You know what? I'm gonna hold it up. I got my mobile. There he is. They're falling from a plane.
That's
Okay.
the last issue. Wow.
Last issue. Okay, there you go. I know I don't tell people that, because now you're gonna find books that I could have got.
Yeah, well, you find yours at a pawn shop.
No, I got mine.
You're going to find it on Instagram and eBay.
That's fair. I actually got mine. This one I got at the pawn shop. I got mine. The other one, the final issue, from a private dealer.
That's a slow sketch.
First Speedball.
First Speedball, baby. ASM, Annual
Nice.
22. Black Panther from the mini #3.
Aurora.
Ooh.
And #4.
That's a great cover.
Oh.
I love both.
Nice.
They're both awesome, man. They're both great. They're both great. Issue 2 is like the only one that's on key, but who cares, man? I
It's
just
Black Panther, dude.
yeah, dude. And then I got a couple nice cat books.
Meow. Oh shit!
Ooh, nice.
Some of Mike Zeck's finest.
Dollar comic.
Very
Dollar
cool.
comic. And dollar comic.
Boom.
Now, these last ones here. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to show you these here. These here are great. These, I'm going to go. I know I've been going for a while, so I'm going to go fast here. All right. I love the original G.I. Joe run. I have most of it. But when you get into the later issues, it's really kind of tough. My LCS actually had the final issue in the dollar bin. I went to pull it out. I had already bought my comics. I was like, let me go grab $1 out the car. He was like, here, just take it.
Shit.
That was like 2 years ago. So we're not talking like, 20 years. This is like 2 years ago he did that. And I was like, dude, this is a money book. And he's like, I don't fucking care. Take it. So, but
Ace.
here's these are later. Okay. Plus, the couple of them have
Damn.
Transformers Gen 2. Oh, nice, Ace. Transformers Generation 2. This was the relaunch. They did like 8-10 issues. I have most of them. Real tough to find. Here's 141. I had 140. That was another part of the Transformers. Here's 142. Yet again, another part of the Transformers. All right.
Sweet.
Then I grabbed 144. That's the origin of the Snake Eyes. 145. 146. You can see they were getting really hard up for ideas. There's 147. Larry Hama was like, how about everything the same, but space, 148.
Yeah.
Hey, how about we add ROM to the story?
149.
Jesus.
Now, I grabbed this one just because of who was on the cover. I know they're worthless. Marvel Age 82 with the Squadron Supreme.
Don't say that they're worthless. I love them mother lovers.
I love them too. There's some cool covers on it.
Marvel Ages are one of my. I like them.
First issue of Slingers. There's that one. I got this one there in the dollar bin again. What If 34?
I have that one. That's a good one.
That one's hilarious. Yeah, I agree.
We also got, look at this. Here's something that's hard to come by. Dollar bin, Predator number 3.
Very nice.
Original Dark Horse mini.
Praise.
Money books right now.
Yep.
What If special number 1.
Oh.
Nice.
This is the layouts are done by Ditko on this.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really?
The whole book. And this is very near the end of him, being able to do work still.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
And then I grabbed there was another free comic book day, best of 2000 AD. Okay, here we go. Last two books. All right. This is Beat. Okay. I would say this is probably a 3.5. It's got multiple dings. It was stapled off center to begin with, so the cover is a little twisted, but it's solid. The staples are intact, and I paid $1 for it.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
Wow!
Alpha Flight, you son of a bitch!
Wow! Are you
$1.
serious? Are you
$1.
serious right now? Are you
$1.
serious?
So bad.
Really?
$1.
That's that. Oh man,
That's the book. That's the book right there, right?
that is the book right there.
I hate me for that.
I love this book so much. I hate me.
For those who don't know, and there's a big fold over.
Doesn't matter.
Rough. There's some ink missing there. But it's the first Alpha Flight, ladies and gentlemen. In case you don't know.
Yeah.
Very first Alpha Flight. Now, the final book I'm going to show you real quick. There's a reason I held this one to the end, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Here we have a book that was given away as part of Free Comic Book Day today. Okay. And I'm pulling it out of the bag. I wouldn't do this normally, but I'm pulling it out of the bag just for you guys.
my shot did not have any of what you're about to show.
And, I have one more book I have to find to show as well. But let me tell you what. This book, I was super, super pleased by. When I got it home, I didn't think much of it. I grabbed it. I threw it in. I was like, yeah, I'll take this one too. Just because it's kind of funky. I like funky stuff. All right. Yeah. But here it is.
Chex Quest.
Best game ever. Best free game.
Chex Quest Anthology. Guys, let me tell you something about this book right now. You're going to look at this book and go, well, it's a video game tie-in. It's obvious Chex, so it's a corporate tie-in to a product. Man, I don't. Yeah, you're probably going to do a little bit of that. Okay, I don't blame you. Definitely what I would have done. But here's the reason you don't want to do this on this book, because if you like any kind of indie comics at all, there is a story in here by a creator that I'm sure you've heard of, and his name is Tom, I'm going to say it wrong, Scioli. Sorry, Tom. Tom does a full story in here about Chex Quest, done in that inimitable Tom Scioli style. Guys, this book was a last-minute addition to Free Comic Book Day. It wasn't supposed to come out with Free Comic Book Day, but the publisher wanted to push it out, to get it out there in kids' hands, because obviously they're pushing this game, which is going to push them into checks and yada, yada, yada. So they shipped them out, and every single store got 4 copies.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty low print.
That's awesome.
Pretty low. I was there first thing this morning. I got there 12 minutes after he opened, and I was able to score a copy. And I know I said that was the last one, but I lied because I forgot I bought this book Tuesday.
Liar!
Here it is.
Wish you weren't a liar. Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Batman 3 Jokers, the 1 in 100 black and white variants.
Wow, that's a great cover.
True story. Standing there waiting for my LCS to break down the books. He's great. Some days he has them when he opens up Tuesday morning. He has the DC books out and sorted into bins. Some days he doesn't. One of the days he doesn't, I just hang out with him. So I hung out with him, and we're shooting the breeze. Another guy comes in. We're all talking, and unfortunately, it ran right up until I had to get back home to hop back online to join a conference call at work. So I was like, let me just grab one of these, one of the 3 Jokers, and I'll run because that's why I wanted to read. He goes, okay. And as he pulls out the 3 Jokers, he notices he got 2 books he didn't order. Hey, you have a great night there, Whack. He got the green and purple and one of these, and he didn't order them. They were not part of his order. But they shipped them.
How many did you get?
He got one of each. And I said, man, I really kind of wanted the Joker book, like the Joker cover, but I'm really kind of digging this black and white. What would you sell it for? He goes, they were free. You can have it at cover price.
Jesus!
Wow. No way.
Yeah. My guy's really
cover.
good.
The one with the green cover I saw for 30 at Corca's, and the black and white for 100.
Yep. Yeah, the black and white apparently is going for some loot. This book is worth $6.99 to me because that's what I paid for it, and I'm not gonna sell it. So
hold on to it.
I'm not. It's gonna be in my collection forever. So wait till I die, folks. Then I'm sure my kids will have a fire. So, yeah, I wouldn't have paid that much for it either, lady. Yeah. So that's all I got. Thank you very much for everybody for tolerating my exceptionally long rollout there.
Anytime. We would only do it for you, man.
I guess I have some books, so perhaps I should do this, right?
I think you should. Do this.
I'm gonna go, hey, what's in the briefcase? But I got so much stuff, there's no way in hell it would fit in the briefcase. So I'm just gonna switch the camera and y'all see some of the things I got. Not everything, just a few things. So I'm going to show you a few things that I wound up picking up from a guy by the name of Pablo Ordone, Ordone, on Instagram. I swung by and he knew that I've been looking for a bunch of things, so he tried helping me out. So I picked up a massive pile, and I'm only going to show you some of the best ofs that I wound up picking up. So why don't I start going through all that? And meanwhile, there's my Twitter and Instagram. So if anybody wants to know where to find me, where to reach me, if I'm looking for something, and I'm always looking for something, such as I'm looking now for an issue 1 and 4 of Wraith, because today I picked up an issue 2 and an issue 3. And yes, you might have noticed something. Normally, I have everything bagged and boarded, but not today. This is some breaking news that Rob Wurst is showing his naked comics on Not Near Minutes. Now I had to definitely check over on that. Oh, yeah. I got the green one for 15. Yeah, 15 would have been an okay price to pay for that. All right, so I got this issue. I couldn't find the jumping rope issue. And I'm not going to say how much I got everything for because it's just not what I do. Because I got everything together in one big bundle. So if you want to see what I got from Pablo Ordone, his name is Orlando. I will show that on Lady Fantastic's channel sometime over the weekend. Yes, I even got the first time that Kate Bishop is officially called Hawkeye by Clint Barton.
Hellcat.
Nice.
Look at you.
Suicide Squad #1. Really nice copy.
Oh, she's pretty. She wrote that black breaks easy.
Oh yeah,
That black breaks easy.
I gotta get me some bags and boards. All right, I've been working on my Wonder Woman run, so I got myself finally an issue 1, and it is Wraparound.
Yeah, it's a great cover too, man. Beauty.
George Perez. All right,
Gotta love
so here are the books that came out this week. Or should I possibly show the Savage Dragon that I got for a guy that's definitely not by the name of was something that I said one week a while back. Don't go looking for it. So yeah, might as well. I'll show those first. So for people looking for low print run books, you'd be hard pressed to find lower prints than these Savage Dragons.
Oh yeah,
because they're around a print run of 5,000. No one was really reading this, and the only person it really is some guy that I talk about every now and then. Oh, someone wants to. Yeah, She-Hulk.
those look interesting.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look and seeing what's going on in the chat, so I'm not thinking anybody is being forgotten there. All right, so issue 89, issue 91, issue 92, issue 117.
Oh, it's like an old romance cover.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's cool. That's pretty cool.
I don't want to hear it. All right. Just kidding.
It's okay. Neither do I.
Sorry, I just felt like I needed to say something scandalous.
Yeah, who needs romance when you can just have just spread your legs and let's see what's going on there? But
Hey,
it's
baby.
It's like 3 different tricks on each cover.
You're
What
telling
if
me
that
that's
was like-
not romance?
What if that was like she actually didn't pick him? That was like a queef, and he's like, "Ugh."
Oh, God's sakes.
Sorry, man. I'm just trying to keep shit academic.
Just keeping the dialogue rolling, that's all.
Yeah.
Good
We're
night,
all done.
everybody.
That one, oh my god.
All is beautiful.
Classy. That's what you call classy right
It
there.
wasn't for the fact that I suddenly realized that Savage Dragon is like 250 issues and would fill a long box that I
Right.
realized, yeah, I'm just gonna have to like give this to somebody. It's like I like Savage Dragon, but I have a hard time reading it. All right, so I picked up today The Boys, issue number 4, Dear Becky. This follows the very tail end of the series where wee Huey has to figure out what's going on. How everything fell out from that last issue.
Did you see what Tacoma said? You should take a Sharpie to that cover and draw it in. I would just draw like a little poof cloud.
Oh, for the love of God.
You know, that's just how I'm going to send it to you, okay, Miracleman?
Send it to me. Let me do, what do they call it? Like, let me do a remark, and you'll have a masterpiece.
I don't think it's called a remark when you just scribble on the cover. I don't know if that counts.
It'll be art. It'll be a queef poof.
Oh,
It's
God.
called writing on cover.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Man, I'm really immature.
That's cool. Is that the
Yeah.
medieval Spawn? That was medieval Spawn, right?
it's sort of, but it's not the cover that everybody wants. Everybody got
Oh.
fucked on that cover.
Dude, let me just say how astonished I am that TMNT is over 100 friggin' issues. Just blows my mind. 108 just blows my mind, man. That's great. That's so fantastic.
Meanwhile, I can't believe that Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer has gotten 47 issues in and hasn't been rebooted yet.
Well, they're rebooting the numbering. They're going back to legacy numbering, aren't they?
Yeah, but Nick Spencer's still going to be writing it.
Oh, gotcha. Great cover. Great cover. You know, I saw this Daredevil. What did you get to read it at all?
I haven't read anything. That's why all these books are naked. Because
Right.
all I did was take things out of bags and boards, and then you came on at like 9:30ish,
Yeah.
and we started talking. I bagged and boarded nothing. I read nothing, but at least everything's out of their nasty old bags and boards.
That feels good when you get all that.
Oh,
out. That's
that
great.
woman. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's why I have this Hulk out.
Yep.
And,
That's great.
And Pablo Ordone on Instagram, he has the spawns that have this cover too.
Sweet.
There's all those homage covers. And
Nice.
it's also just like Savage Dragon that I realized I don't want like a long box of spawns. I'm never going to read them.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll probably wind up getting rid of my spawns at the next auction.
Sweet.
In fact, I
nice.
still haven't read the first issue.
I heard it was really good.
Now, I'm a little backed up on the X-Men stuff, so I'll get to it soon enough.
Yeah, me too.
Action. I don't know why I'm still picking up all the Bendis stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Looking forward to reading this one, especially after what happened last issue.
Final issue of Batgirl is going to have a Dodson cover on it that looks freaking gorgeous.
Ooh.
Nice beyond.
And I just got the regular cover. I didn't opt for any of the expensive ones.
Still
I
cool.
want the one with the kitty.
Is that a Bermejo on that detective? That's Bermejo, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Killer Croc.
There's that gorgeous cover again.
And another issue of Flash that I may or may not ever read.
Oh,
This-
I like that. That's
I
fun.
heard this became a big book, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Oh, he's supposed to be walking away from being Robin, maybe?
Oh, is
I
that
don't
it?
know. It might be, yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't want to do it no more.
My shop's like, make sure you pull all the issues off the shelf. That became a big book. I'm like, oh, okay.
They're just saying that now, and you're just like, all right.
I don't even know.
It's a big book. It's a big book.
And
It
this is
came
the
out
last
today. It's
issue
a
that I
big book.
picked up. And that is everything that came out this week. I mean, I have a giant stack that I will put under a microscope on another day. But today is not that day. It is now 10:28 p.m. at night. And I think we should probably start talking about the subject. Let's see here. Where is that little thing? So the subject of tonight's show is superheroes ready for the big screen. We already had our interview with Cory DLG. For those that missed that, go back on the rewind. He's at the very beginning of the show. So now at an hour and 27 minutes in, we will be discussing comic books coming up to the big movies, to television, what it should be the next thing coming out. I mean, there's plenty of things that are in development, but the way things are working in Hollywood now, everything's a little bit tentative. So what do you think would be a great property? I think
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
Not really. I'm just kind of showing it.
Actually,
Go ahead.
they have an animated series directed by Kevin Smith coming to Netflix, do they not?
Yeah,
That
I
they
believe
do.
And speaking of this, I just want to show you. I picked up this
Nice.
Transformers, Generations #6 newsstand.
Nice.
That was
Very
one
cool.
I found in the El Cheapo bin, but it was really nice condition.
That was cool.
It's because of the new television series by Kevin Smith that hopefully won't have dick fart jokes and marijuana. It'll just be the continuation of He-Man.
It's actually
Oh,
the cast is friggin' phenomenal.
So who's part of the cast?
Oh shit!
Oh, we just lost Lady. I'm gonna give you the cast real quick.
Lady.
Because not unfortunately, because I like him. I believe Jason Mewes is a part of the cast.
That's awesome.
Surprise, surprise. Reboot, Kevin Smith, cast.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm using the internet. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. You can
What
look
am I
up
doing right
information. So a couple of good names. A couple of you might know some of these people. Some fella named Mark Hamill.
Who?
Yeah, Mark Hamill. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Buffy?
Huh?
Buffy. Oh wow, Buffy. That's not a good picture, hon. That's a rough looking picture, hon. Sarah may not have aged well. I shouldn't have said that. That's mean. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that the way they came out. She's just, this picture is not a great picture of her. Oh, come on now. Where's the rest of the cast? Revelation. That's what it's called. Masters of the Universe Revelation. He's not giving me any of the rest of the cast. Chris Wood, Mark Hamill, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Those are the only names I can get so far. I know there were more. Let's see. Is this one telling me? No,
So
that
who's
one.
playing the titular character with the man boobies, He-Man?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's Mark. I don't think it's Mark.
Let it be Jason Mewes.
That would be great.
Yo, man, we found Skeletor and we fucked his shit up, yo.
Yeah, that's about right.
Guys, I need to bounce off. It's got a long week and I'm just a granny, but you guys please continue on. I thank you for allowing me to come on and be amazing.
As always.
Yep.
It's always amazing, yeah.
I bring a class act, I feel like. Class act.
I have that list then, whenever you would like it, Rob.
List? What list?
Of the cast. I have the full cast here.
Ooh, good. Well, real quick, I want to show the people that there's all these books that I still need to bag and board, and Lady Fantastic and I will over the next couple of days, where after all this is bagged and boarded, you'll get to see what I got. So, Lady Fantastic, why don't you go ahead and promote yourself? Let's blow you up.
So, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing it this weekend. I need to talk with Tacoma Comics and we'll be making a decision. But every Saturday morning we do the Saturday morning Cartoon Crew auction and we rotate channels. And it is at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Central time. And I also have stuff around. I need to do my contest winner, and the whole jabroni thing is throwing a wrench into that. So I may wait till September 1st. It's just a couple days away and announce the winner then. Other than that, man, you guys be safe, stay healthy, wipe your booties, and be nice to one another.
All good advice. All good advice.
Absolutely.
Great advice.
Wash your booty hole more than anything else. If there's nothing else you want to fantastic for, wash that booty hole.
Jesus Christ.
Get it good.
Thanks, lady.
All right, I'm out.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
So full cast list, man. This is a killer cast list. All right. Skeletor is played by Mark Hamill, which makes sense.
He seems like a Frank Welker sort of type.
Sarah Michelle Gellar is playing Tila.
I can see that.
Lena Headey is playing Evil Lynn.
Yeah, I could see the leader of the Stark family playing.
Here's where it starts getting badass, guys. All right, check this shit out. Henry Rollins is playing Triclops.
Okay.
Kevin Conroy is playing Merman.
Batman's gonna play Merman.
Yes.
It's his Bat Merman.
Yes. We're gonna get Alicia Silverstone as Queen. Was it Marlena?
Nice.
Liam Cunningham. Oh, Alicia Silverstone?
No, I know who Alicia Silver's. She's fucking Batgirl. I'm clueless. But the name that you just said, that does not ring a bell at all.
That's Prince Adam's mother. That's the Queen.
Oh, okay.
That's the Queen. Liam Cunningham's playing Man at Arms. Also from Game of Thrones. Justin Long as Roboto. Orko. Oh wait, Dietrich Bader as King Randor. That's the father. That's Prince Adam's son. Dietrich Diedrich Bader. He's the guy from, you know who he is. He's that guy.
Drew Carey.
Drew Carey's
what,
sidekick. Yeah. He has a career because of Drew Carey. That guy. John Irwin's playing He-Man, and I think wasn't John Irwin on Bonanza?
I don't know.
He's
who that
old,
is.
man. John Irwin is old, man. Yeah, no, he did the original He-Man. That's why they have the original voice for He-Man coming back.
Wow, that's
So
hilarious.
that's a good choice. And Phil Lamar is playing Hero. Tony Todd, Candyman, is playing Scareglow.
No way. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah,
He could play anybody.
Jason Mewes is playing Stinkor.
Okay.
Makes sense. And Lou Scheimer is playing Orko. Lou Scheimer was he's done a lot of voice acting. I think he did like old school Filmation stuff.
Yeah.
I think he might have actually been the original voice for Orko.
I wouldn't
Hold on.
be shocked at that. Because
You know what?
the only other voice actor that I can imagine doing Orko would be like Jim Carrey or Andy Dick.
No, that was his voice, dude. This is so they have the original actor for Orko. How's that possible? He's dead.
Maybe it's his grandson.
I'll have to look into that. I don't know. He's dead. I don't. This might be mixing the two casts.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. I just clicked his Wikipedia page. He's definitely dead. John Irwin is still alive. Yeah, I don't. This says it's the current cast, but I don't know how that's possible. Unless they're going to take all of that guy's audio and just play it back, like it's only the stuff he said back in the '80s, and they're going to use that on the new show. I don't know, which is possible.
Yeah,
Hey, you know
they
what?
have to pay some rights. That's it.
You know what I would be interested in seeing? Something we've never got before, and I don't think there's any plans for it. Is an origin story for this little-known character referred to as Batman. I believe he's called Batman. I believe there's something with a woman named Martha, and there's some pearls. We've never seen it. Yes, Rob, that's the face I expected. Anybody else don't want an origin story for Batman at least for the next 25 years? Is anybody else at that level? I love Batman.
Don't want to see another origin story for Batman or Spider-Man. We're good. Power responsibility, good.
Yeah, we're good.
Parents dead, fight crime, supervillains or a cowardly, superstitious lot. We're good.
We're good. I was heartened about DC fandom this past week, and I was in the woods. I didn't get to watch it live, but I get to watch it afterwards. You got to see it, right?
I got bored shortly after I discovered that Sandman. They had Neil Gaiman, they had Yvette Nicole Brown do the hosting on that, and then they brought in some dude after G. Willow Wilson that does audiobooks. I'm like, they're not going to show the trailer to the series, are they? And then I lost interest of what was going on because I realized you could go and watch the trailers to all the things that they were going to show you without the mental masturbation of, okay, how about we tell stories of how great we are about one another without, what actually goes into the process. I'm like, I'm losing interest. Hey, look, trailers, the new Justice League. It looks just like the original one, just darker and still just as boring.
Pretty much.
Oh, look, there's Darkseid.
Listen, the worst CGI I've seen since Nintendo 64. Now, listen, man, I will watch anything Justice League. I watch the original TV pilot. I probably watch that, 6 or 7 times a year, every year for the last 23 years, 22 years. I have no problem watching anything Justice League. Doesn't matter how bad it is. I've seen all the animated. I've seen all the movies. I don't care. I have all the Super Friends on VHS yet. Okay. Oh, you're right. And right, Ace. And I love anything Justice League. So I will watch. You could put like Justice League making snow cones, and you could make it 5.5 straight hours of them making snow cones, and that's it. And I would watch every single second of it. All right. I don't
want to
get-
see your reaction to you watching that.
I
want
would
to see a
be
reaction
excited.
to that because it will be the first time on video that your face will be on it.
Well, there's that. But
And
I
it'll
would
be like Harry.
I would watch it, but you're right. It doesn't look any different. It looks like the same thing, except all the serious parts without one chuckle throughout the whole thing. That's what it looks like. But hey, whatever.
It looks very serious and somber, and there might be some exciting moments, some things we didn't see, but it's going to be 4 hours of very depressing, bleak, dark superheroes where instead of the mystic, wow, that's amazing, it's going to be, oh, is it going to get any more depressing? Yeah, it is.
It's Justice League. That movie was like Justice League done by Depeche Mode. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it was. It was like watching Depeche Mode direct the world's greatest superheroes. And I like Depeche Mode in the right situation. Not when it comes to a story about hope or, anything like that. That's just my opinion. I just don't think it was the best Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman. I love Gal Gadot, but I just think it was not a well done flick. That's just my opinion.
The best way that I could correlate it to another movie would be if those that have watched Robin Williams. Now, I hated this movie the first time I saw it because I was expecting something completely different. Goes to show, don't have expectations. So this movie was called What Dreams May Come. You see the trailer, and it is beautiful. It looks like a Van Gogh painting come to life. But what it's the story of is this guy loses his kids in a car accident, and then his wife dies by suicide. So then he dies, goes to hell to try and bring the wife back.
That's a crazy movie.
And it's just depressing to start out with, and you're like, well, maybe it's a hero's journey and things will get better. Oh, it's getting worse. Well, maybe it'll get better. No, it's just getting more bleak. Oh God,
it was bleak.
Why am I watching this? This is 2.5 hours in. It's still going. Oh, it's over, and they're still dead.
Right. The only
That's how watching Justice League was like for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie you just mentioned, that they were already dead. So the best possible outcome is they were less miserable dead. Best possible outcome. They were just less miserable. But yeah, I'm still excited. What I was really excited about was hearing about the possibility of some milestone related films and animated series, man. That's exciting. That's exciting. These characters, there's a rich, deep bench of characters in the Milestone universe. It's absolutely worth mining.
Yeah, for those that only watched Static when we were all younger, that there's a lot more characters. There's Hardware, there's Zombie, there's volumes of Static. Like you showed at the beginning of the episode, all the issue number 1s of Static that there's been.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think there's they had a relaunch in New 52. Sorry about that. They had a relaunch in New 52. They had 2 original series. I think there's 4 different versions of this. I have all but one, and
which I might find for you.
One you might find for me, which I would be very interested to find out about. God damn, Ace, you got to let that Serbian film go.
No. How about an irreversible universe with the brown note from the very beginning of the film?
No, man, no.
And by the way, people at home don't watch these movies unless you really want to drink bleach immediately following viewing the film.
They're bad movies. You don't want to see them. You don't want to see the movies. But yeah, no, this is going to be a really exciting universe. It's an entire universe of superheroes that hasn't been mined yet for film or television. How many of those are left?
I just picked up the whole run of something called Adam Legend of Blue Marvel last week, and that absolutely should become an Oscar-winning film.
Yeah.
If that gets translated, it will be the first Marvel film that is rightfully nominated and should win an Oscar, because it will show like the racism of the 60s from then all the way to today. If you get the right director on that, the right writer, the right cast, you're going to have the next big hit on your hands. It might get me to actually get out of my chair and into the car and into a theater with the mask.
All right, let's not.
I don't want to go to a theater.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think it would be a very worthwhile film to make. The anything from that period piece, that story was a really well done story. I unfortunately didn't pick it up, but I've read bits and pieces of it here and there. And you're absolutely right. Couldn't agree with you more.
I'm glad I finally got a chance to read it.
No.
And here we have Icon. There's another character that did he make an appearance in Static?
I don't know if he was in the cartoon. I will tell you that the first issue is not that tough to find for Icon. What's really tough to find for Icon is the last issue.
There you go.
And that's her right there. Just so you know, if you're out and you're looking for milestone books, if you wanna look for those tough to find ones. This year, I believe there's less than 5,500 copies out there.
Yep.
Very low print run. Guys. Very low print run. Now, here's something to remember, and this is the most important part. So Milestone, it was printed by DC, but it was not owned by DC, which is why it took so long to come back out. They had to work out creative rights on this, because when Dwayne McDuffie launched this universe, heck yeah, house till the end. When Dwayne McDuffie launched the Milestone universe, he had a much better deal with the creators of these books. And Christopher Priest, he was there at the very beginning. You know, he helped with a lot of the layouts and the design and the setup, and very much part of the Dakota universe. You know, Dwayne, this was really kind of his baby. He ran these books through. And kept it going for a number of years. And unfortunately, he passed away a while back. And DC had to go back and negotiate with the widow, with Mrs. McDuffie, to get the rights to bring these characters back out. I recently saw, and I think, Rob, you saw it as well. I think it was Kurt Busiek who posted it, but he posted a piece of, or it might have been Paul Kupperberg, posted a piece of stationery that DC was using in the 90s. Did you see that?
I'm not remembering.
So the whole back page of it, the whole back of the stationery. You know what? You're right, Dusty. I think you're right. The whole back of the sheet is different superheroes standing on each other's shoulders, and the top one is holding up the DC Bullet logo, like with arms stretched out. And Icon is in that group of heroes. So Icon was very much a character that was supposed to be very important, you know, for DC and Milestone and moving forward. And he's their Superman. He is their biggest and their toughest. But you know, he's been toiling away in complete obscurity. They tried to merge him in the Justice League pre-Flashpoint. They had that crossover issue where they brought the Dakota characters back, and boom, they were gone again. We never saw him. We haven't seen him since.
And why do I remember Icon and Hardware being almost the same character?
Icon and Hardware were actually very different, but I think what a lot of people thought of at the time was Hardware it's just Iron Man.
That's probably
right. That's what I was thinking.
And Icon that's just Superman.
Because I had Static, I had Icon, Hardware. I don't think I had. So all I saw was just the cover of Hardware and went, it looks just like Icon, but with chains.
Yeah, I would say, excuse me. Yeah, I would say that's probably not too far off. Because
when I hear Iron Man, I'm like, I'd never put two and two together.
Hardware and Iron Man, that's what I always thought. I remember when Hardware was out, I thought to myself, yeah, that's just an Iron Man ripoff. Why would I want to read that? Because I didn't really care for Iron Man. I was like, why would I want to read that? And here we go. There's a nice Icon and Rocket cover. And
nice.
You know, the these characters were actually, yes, they had a lot of similarities. I mean, not just Iron Man, but how about DC was publishing Steel at the time? John Henry Iron Steel, still very similar. It's a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guy in a suit of armor.
Yeah.
The cool thing about Icon, and this is something a lot of people don't know about the character, is yes, he's a Superman level character, but what happened was he was an alien, and when he got to Earth, he immediately took on the form of the first person he saw, and the first person he saw was a black man. And, he has to deal with some of that interaction, with being a person of color, that definitely affects the way his outlook on the world. And for 92, I think these first came out. 94, 93. They first came out in 93. So for 1993, it's certainly not a time where they hadn't already touched that. Obviously O'Neill and Cohen, or Dennis O'Neill had written about that in Green Arrow and Green Lantern, 25 years prior to that. But it was still pretty. It was right there. It was still something that was a really touchy subject to be touching in comics. And the Milestone line, they didn't mind. They hopped right into it.
Well, it helps when you actually have the creators, the writers, the artists, all actually be black people doing art and writing about black people instead of Brian Michael Bendis being a Jewish person writing about a black Hispanic person. I'm like, wow, it's a great character and everything. I would have liked to have seen it voiced by somebody that actually knows the experience.
Somebody of the community.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes back to one of those things. I've heard people complain about. Well, they just hired this writer because they're a black person and the character's black, and or they just hired this Latino writer because it's a Latino character. They just wanted one that was, well, guys, don't you think that kind of makes sense? I mean, let's be honest here. You could be the greatest writer on earth. If you're a white guy who grew up in an area that was a fairly homogenous bubble, you're probably not going to really understand everything that somebody of a different culture has had to go through, and particularly in our country where the color of your skin can dramatically affect your day-to-day life. So that's my pulpit. I'm sorry, I'll get off it now.
And not to mention the fact that the more diverse you have people from all universes, DC, Image, Marvel, whatever have you, the more people you reach out to bring in to read comic books, while it might not be for you, not everything is made for you specifically, the viewer out there. Some things like My Little Pony, not for me. It doesn't mean it's crap. It just means it's not for me. Anything that brings in future readers, future artists, future writers, I don't care what it is, just keep doing it, keep putting it out there, because we need more people. If it wasn't for the fact that COVID happened, comics were slowly slipping away. People were not getting their pull lists as much. You saw readership was down bit by bit over the years, but then COVID happens, and all of a sudden you have readers. You have the pop community that goes, wait a second, these things cost money? Hey, Static *1, that was a TV show, wasn't it? Let's make it worth $150 on eBay.
That's great.
A while ago. So anything that brings in people, you might see the weird speculators, but that's just always a bubble, and there's always going to be a bubble here and there, and bubbles always pop. Nothing's forever.
That's right. That's right.
So we're running up to almost 2 hours here, going almost midnight. I know some of you all have things to do, and I know that Comics on the Mind had to run about 10 minutes ago.
That's all good.
So let's go around the room, and because I'm seeing here the private chat. Oh yeah, I should have checked the private chat earlier. So let's do the go ahead and promote yourself, starting with Comics on the Mind.
Okie dokie. What's up, everybody? You guys know where to find me at on my Twitter, my Instagram, Mindshift, and of course here comes to the mind. But I also do a show every Thursday called The Teacher's Lounge. If you guys haven't heard of it, come check it out. It's really great with my co-host, the Todd Father, aka Todd. Gorilla Todd Comics, great dude in the community. But we just talk about comic books, teaching, and everything else in between. You don't need to be a teacher to come on and chat it with us. So, yeah. And then, of course, you'll see me on IG and all the other places where I'm able to make comments.
Because we love being able to comment, which is why you need to join Twitter. And it's Miracleman that needs to join Instagram. We all need to just cross.
You heard what I said, Miracleman.
I did. I'll get around to it eventually, I swear.
Eventually. Oh, we even have K Titus from Japan. Hello, K Titus from Japan, where it is already tomorrow. It's about to be tomorrow here in about 3 minutes.
For you.
Yeah, as we're all yawning and you're still back at almost 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and promote yourself, Miracleman?
So, I normally don't have thank you for that. I normally don't have a whole lot to promote. I'm going to just drop a couple things real quick. Make sure you go over and check out Cory DLG's book. There's some really, like I said, really interesting backing tiers. The book looks really good. He's a good dude. I've dealt with him for a couple of years now. You won't be disappointed by his comic. I'll tell you that much. If you like superheroes, it's got it. Two, I will actually be on I Freaking Love Channels. I Freaking Love Comics channel, YouTube channel this Saturday.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. We're I don't know what we're doing yet, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Please just remind us about that.
I'll definitely let you know. I'll definitely let you know. It's going to be it's Saturday 29th, 3 p.m. I'll be on the show, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I really like those guys. I've been enjoying their shows. Also, check out their channel if you're here, if you're listening. Make sure you go over and check out I Freaking Love Comics. They're a really good group. Very enjoyable. Like I said, I'll be on that. And other than that, come on by, see me on the Twitter at Komodo1977. We can talk about comics. We can talk about the government. We can talk about politics. Fair warning. I have been known to be called an SJW. Not real sure what that means, other than somebody that right-wingers hate.
You're the epitome of wokeness.
I guess I don't know what the fuck that means, but sure. And yeah, come on by and say hi. If you're watching this show, you probably knew that already, though. So, other than that, that's it.
And this is the Not Near Mint crew. Like always, we will be back next week. Do smash that like. Do click that bell for notifications and subscribe to this channel if you have not already. We do this every single Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And, well, my name is Rworstreport. I don't have anything that I really need to hawk or sell here. But, yes, we will be back next week at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find me on Twitter at Rworst and on Instagram at Not Near Mint. I usually put up at least a single issue every day. Sometimes I skip a day here or there. As many of you know, last week, my cat, Jaka, I had to put her to sleep on Thursday. And the father that I've been taking care of, my best friend and roommate, Heather, her father passed away last night just prior to 3 a.m. So we've been dealing with a lot here. So my life is a mess right now. So I'm just trying to keep things going, keep things straight, and hopefully things get better because 2020 sucks balls.
Not
so
great.
There.
Come back next week because next week we're going to have a great episode. We have a new guest. We will be interviewing them, and we know who it is, but we're not telling you this secrets just yet. So we're going to close out the show. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Not everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to see this episode again, along with a catalog of back episodes and issues, surf on over to Not Near Mint on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Rob Wurst, Lady Fantastic, Miracleman, and Comics on the Mind will be back next week. Same time, Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Not Near Mint.